Troops, the time has arrived. The giveaway winner is going to be announced. Christmas has been, but we're here to give you that Boxing Day lift. So stick around if you've entered the giveaway. Wait to the end. That's when you're going to see if you've won or not. Big moves, Jamie.
I think you have won or not.
You have definitely won.
I think you've won, mate.
And we're not talking, see, I know you're like, he's not talking to me, they know he's talking to fucking all the other people watching this video, but I'm talking to you, mate. You've won.
You fucking won.
You've won the giveaway.
Stick it into the end and
yes.
Find out the actual.
Trips, we're in. Deep fried.
Deep space.
Number 2, numero dos. Is that dos?
Right, dos.
I never done Spanish. We had French.
Uno, dos.
Did you do Spanish?
I didn't do school, no.
Didn't do school, bro. So there you go. Take that and run with it. Oh, did you do higher computing? Nah, bro. Didn't do school.
I done nursery.
Great. That's brilliant news.
I done nursery, but.
But we're back in, man. And big thanks to G4, obviously, who helped us get up here into space. We could not do it without the backing of G4's rocket. So, if you want to claim anything, you want to claim for a rocket, get onto G4 and they might sort you with a rocket or whatever. But
they've got the capabilities for it.
The stuff's in the description if you want to get a hold of them. But, guys, let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. I'm sure that was a Slim Shady record.
What was it?
It was, wasn't it? Let's get down to business.
Oh.
Down to town. What is this?
I was thinking about
Must be a circus in town.
Ooh. I was thinking about
Slim Shady.
Like, let's get down to business.
Oh,
and I was
no,
like, is that Eminem?
That's not Marshall Mathers, brother. He's smoking some meth,
I
man.
was confused. I have seen,
But Boxing Day.
I know.
Boxing Day, by the time the folks are watching this.
Merry Christmas and that, Trips.
Merry Christmas to everyone. And shout out to all the people who didn't make it to this Christmas. We miss you. R.I.P. to all the dead people out there, man. Big up the deads. Big up the dead out there. But let's get into living stuff, mate.
Aye.
Obviously, we've not experienced Christmas yet. We're going to actually kid on that we had experienced Christmas, and I just didn't want to lie to the people like that.
I was right up for lying to all
Jamie wants to lie every episode. And I had to stop him. We run through it beforehand and I go, he's like, I'm going to say I've done this, and I'm like, no, Jamie, can't do it.
For example, I was saying, like, we don't actually need to go into space, we can just get a green screen in that.
And I was like, no, we need to go to space for real. So
he's an authentic guy.
I don't like lying to the people, mate. But man, Boxing Day, best day of the year,
Yeah, heavy, isn't it?
Boxing Day's the worst. Yeah, do you ever remember a Boxing Day?
No, not really, man. Mine used to go out and you go out and shop on Boxing Day sales.
But mate, I used to. I remember I used to get chinoed up, man, and go right into the town and go into Top Man.
USC.
USC diesel shit. No. Is USC still? They're gone.
No, it is, defo.
How are they still gone?
I think
That's a bigger con than Superdry still gone.
No, it's
not. Mate, do you know? Surely they're only still gone because they supply the uniform for the undercover coppers, eh?
Aye, that is their staple.
How could, mate, I've seen busy shops close. Maybe they're just good with their numbers.
Aye, I don't know, man. Money laundering, innit?
Money laundering, mate. Aye, could you just describe anything? That's what you describe something as when like you stop knowing what you're talking about. And you're like, it's just money laundering, bro.
Aye, you just say it to end the conversation.
Aye, so can't like, fuck, he really
it's just a racket, innit?
Aye, racketeering, bro. You never heard it.
Don't want to get
Do you know day school, bro?
No, I actually didn't.
Aye, so I mean, funny story actually. But man, Boxing Day, man, always good for a scrap, obviously. Boxing Day. Best day of the year for a scrap.
A tradition for you, innit?
Aye, every year me and my dad go out and we just, the first cunt we see, we just set about them, man.
I'm hoping to get invited on it this time. I hope I don't get it. I'm not the one getting level.
It'll be like, you ever watch any Anthony Bourdain shows? No.
No.
He's like a chef and like, see that Marco Pierre White?
No. I mean, that's terrible. I don't know.
Didn't he go to school with this guy?
I know.
He's like the guy who taught Gordon Ramsay how to cook.
Oh, right.
But he's like this kind of English, quite eccentric guy, and he like Anthony Bourdain's quite a kind of loving, kind of everybody's equal and peaceful kind of guy, and he like part of Anthony Bourdain's cooking show, he goes to visit Marco Pierre White, and he takes him out like shooting like birds and that, and you can tell he heavy, doesn't he? No, it's like a deer he shoots, and he's like, we'll be eating that tonight and all that, and Anthony Bourdain, you're like, you can see in his eyes, he's like, I don't like to do this.
That's
man.
horrible.
Like, I know. I don't even know what I was comparing that to there.
Me coming out with you in your dialect or something.
That's what it'd be like. Like me and my dad would obviously be absolutely pounding the cunt, and then I think I'd turn around and you'd be like, can't eat it.
I'd be trying to get my raps on, like boxing,
stretching and that. I'm like, get in, kick his head.
Well, I'm a wee guy.
Just a random, just the first person. Doesn't matter if you're 8 years old or 80.
Child.
You're getting it.
Man, woman, or child.
You're fucking getting it. Aye, Jamie. Obviously, we asked the people, the good people, after the first deep fried, what do you want to see us look into, man? And we said the most liked comment would get looked into as long as it wasn't anything sexually explicit. And I believe Joseph's got it here.
We've got Blair Bingham here. He is saying, right, next one needs to be about paranormal things and ghosts and that.
Oh, face reveal.
Did you see that there?
You've seen him, the man behind the magic. Look at that shit. What, ground control?
To Major Tom.
Ground control. Don't want to get demonetised actually. But we've got young Joseph here. Don't say we're not full of surprises, right? Nobody's ever said that about me, and no one ever will. Right? If there's one thing, mate, you don't say about me, it's that I'm no full of surprises.
That is true.
But young Joseph on the camera. Does the face match what you thought? Let us know.
Comment on his appearance.
Comment like specifically on the appearance, guys. But so the comment did say paranormal shit, and I have been looking into some paranormal things, some mad stuff, mate. So let me get this up here, because honestly, I was reading, and shout out to Ben Ewart who put me onto this. Ben was telling me about this podcast called Radio Rental, right? So Radio Rental is a podcast where, say you had a story that you were out camping and you seen this thing, you didn't know what it was, and it was real, and you just didn't really have anywhere to go and tell people.
Aye.
They get people to like phone in with their stories, send them pictures of shit that happened and all that, and this girl phoned in, and Ben told me about this one, and I listened to it. It's mad, honestly. It's in episode 19, so if you want to go and listen to the thing yourself, go listen. It's Radio Rental on Spotify, and there's no video of that.
Watch this first, though.
But watch this full thing first, then watch all the other podcasts, and then watch that. But so it was this thing, right? So this girl who ran like 100 miles, right? So 100-mile races.
A mega marathon.
She like ran them like all over the world, and she says she's never no finished one, right? Like literally, she's been injured, she's torn ligaments and all that, right? She's never no finished it. Right. Even if she got injured and had to kind of work through it, and do you know what I mean? She's never no finished. She's like, I'm just that type of person. Like, you're literally not going to stop me finishing this race. There's nothing, right? So she goes to Hawaii to run this race, right? This 100-miler. And she says it's like one of these ridiculously hard courses. She says it's been set up by people who run 100-mile races to be like notoriously difficult, right?
Right.
So she goes and she takes her friend with her, and she goes out and she's running like the first couple of bits, right? And so she go for the last day, right? So she's doing it, and it's hard, whatever, she's getting through it. She's never even been to like a tropical place before. She's just blown away with the whole thing, whatever. And
where is it, sorry?
Hawaii. Right. The race is in Hawaii, right? I can't remember what island. So she's in Hawaii, she's running around this this fucking race course, and on the last day she gets her friend who's with her to like come out and do the last bit to take pictures there while she's running in that, right? And she says she got to this like bit, it was like trees and like just kind of foresty almost, and she was running through it, and with her friend's taking pictures there and that, and she says suddenly she just felt a pain in her foot, right? And it was like excruciating pain, like no like, oh, I've torn something or I've broke something. It was like a pain that she'd like never felt in her life before. She started pure bursting out crying immediately, and this is like somebody who's ran these races, know what I mean?
And torn ligaments doing it.
And like battle through it and knows what the injuries are like she's like, I've never felt anything like this in my life before, right? And she says like, something in me, like, see how like your intuition, she was like, something in me was telling me I cannot continue in this race. I can't finish this race, like, or something bad's going to happen. She thought maybe it was her body, like, kind of sending her a signal, like, whoa, like,
rejecting what she's doing.
Like, you need to stop doing this right now, because obviously her body just sends signals and that. And she ended up not finishing, and she was devastated. And she goes back to where they were staying in Hawaii with her pal, and she phones her mum and dad. She's like, I never finished that. I can't believe, like, my first one. She says, I don't know what happened, but like, cause my foot, it was killing me and I couldn't finish the race. And she's devastated because obviously she's never no finished one, know what I mean? And so she's just sitting, and her and her pal looking through the pictures that her pals took while she was running, right? And they look back through one, right? Joseph, can you try and pull this up?
Right, here's the picture.
Right, so let's look at this, Trips. I mean, like, right, right, at a glance, you're like, that's some sort of, just a woman in it, in the bushes. Like, that's sort of what that looks like.
Like, I was thinking there, just when I seen it, it looks a bit like just a woman's, like, covered in mud that fell or something. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
But, because she's like, she doesn't look like she's got clothes on. Do you know what I mean? It looks like all messed up, but at the same time, like, I was listening to the podcast, and she's like, the woman who does it, right? So this, Troops, I forgot to say, this is like a live photo, right? We'll try and get it for you, but this is a live photo where obviously you hold it in for a second and it goes like, it's like a second video of, it's like a 2 second video. And she says that you can see this thing moving towards her. And she was like, because obviously people were saying to her like, oh, it'll just be some fucking a drug addict in the bushes or something, or like, and she was like, no, like, I would have seen that, like, I seen everything that was there. She's like, there was nothing there when I was running there. She said there was absolutely nothing there. She remembers running through that bit. She remembers the exact moment it happened. She never seen anybody, and she was like, I would have seen them, like,
or heard or something.
Or heard somebody rustling through. Obviously she's running, but she's running 100 miles, so she's not running that fast that you wouldn't see something. You're not sprinting. It's just madness, isn't it? So,
it is mad.
So what happened is, right, so they seen this, right? Obviously her and her pal, and they're like, what the fuck, know what I mean? Because look at it, and obviously the pain she felt in her foot, and it was at that bit, know what I mean? That's
did she remember that?
She was like, oh, that's that, because it was that certain bit, look, it's like through the trees and all that. And she said that they researched it, Hawaii, like ghosts or like whatever, and it came up like night marchers, right? So night marchers in Hawaii, right? Hawaiians really believe in this. It's like ghosts of ancient Hawaiian warriors, right? That protected like the island that they were on, right?
Right.
So like they believe like those ghosts that still protect the island and day things and that, right? But obviously the people for Hawaii look at them as like good things almost, because they're protecting the island, right? But I don't know if this is just, if you're believing that, then I don't know if this is just a case of like they're trying to defend the island for like this foreigner or something, or like I don't know what it is, but
there's a word, see when you're fae Hawaii, there's a word that I've heard in films that they call people
Hawaiian.
that aren't fae there. Howlies or something.
Aye, she was saying that on it actually. Aye,
like, so it's
because she put, so when they figured out it was like the night marchers, and they put a picture up online, right, and saying like, I think this is a real night marcher we caught in Hawaii and all that, right? And then they started getting abuse off people for Hawaii, right? Actual sending them death threats, like, how dare you and all that, I hope you die a horrible death. And like nobody like believed it was that. But it's just crazy, like, what, because they worked out as well, like the area on where they believe the night crawlers like operated in, they searched it back, and it was like where she was at that moment in time and all that.
Right, okay.
It's madness, mate. Like,
what could it be, right? Like, for a mad skeptic point, like, what actual could that be? Like, the leaves looking weird or something?
No,
or like, I don't know.
Joseph, you're the true skeptic. What do you think this is?
Just a person.
Just a person in the middle
of the person.
Why
that's the most logical explanation.
But why are they all grey?
Why would you think it's a ghost before you think it's a person?
But because why would it look like that?
Because she never seen anything when she was running.
Aye, so I trust the camera more than I trust her memory. Good line.
It's not a good line.
It's like the pictures there, so they were there. She's rang the pictures.
We need to see
right
the
now.
live photo, I think, to
Aye.
fucking to come to a
I
conclusion.
really want to see that.
Have you seen it? No?
No, I've seen it, no.
I need to see it.
Do you
Because
want
I've
me
only
to-
seen the still. Try find it if you want, but
It'll definitely be up, but
Aye.
just for you.
just try find it. But aye, man,
you know
that's
the woman's name?
that's it. Because also another thing is right. It was like they searched it, and it's like apparently they show when there's a blood moon, right? So when like the moon's red, and she
Oh,
remembered
right.
seeing that in the morning and all that. So it was like all the stuff that they added up was leading to that. Do you know what I mean?
So what's the foot thing got to do? What do you think? Like,
She believed like I don't know they hurt her somehow
Like
because
cussed her or something?
apparently if you stare them like if you see one of them you catch them in the eyes you die immediately apparently.
Actually?
That's what they believe. So
Fuck's
I
sake.
don't know if she like caught their eye for a second and just get out. I
Aye,
don't know.
like a wee
She's
bit.
very skinny her
The
teeth.
fit just died. Aye, so was her fit actually alright? That's what I was about to ask. Like, see,
Don't
after
need to
it,
phone her or
do
something.
you know what I mean? But did she say
If you're
like
watching, is your fit alright?
was the injury actual bad? Do you know what I mean? Did she find out? Oh,
I know,
got a-
no, I didn't hear
got
that,
a
I
big
didn't.
knife through my foot.
I know because I wonder. No, never heard that, but interesting.
If it was just that day that they made it heavy sore to like stop her doing it.
Because I believe I don't know why, but I believe stuff like that more than like I don't know, like normal ghost stories. Like I was in and then there was a tree and it started whistling and all that. You're like, it's windy.
Aye,
You
that is
chill
it.
out, you fucking
I like
idiot.
ones that are like old myth kind of
Aye.
things. Aye, I know what you mean.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Aye, I don't know. I don't believe in pure. I believe in things like mad spirits and
Entities.
shit. Aye, but like no, like just old like kings walking about with their heads off. and all
Would you
that.
would you believe like see when people are like do you think like a house could be haunted?
Aye. Places have weird vibes and that. Like,
I
look
think
at, like,
so as
as
well.
bad as I don't know if it's a bad thing to say, but look, Outswitch when people go there,
Aye.
they're like it's the maddest feeling ever. Like,
Apparently like no birds fly over it and that.
aye,
Like it's
no
just
life
eerie.
grows there and shit. Like
I think that's weird, innit? That's like an energy thing, innit?
cosmic thing that's happening. Aye.
That's what I believe in, like other shit that's like no necessarily magic or like whoa, or like I think there's a lot of stuff we don't know that we are geeing out and taking in and like
Aye, we're not meant to. Oh, there's this thing.
we've got the live picture.
Oh, so it's zoomed right
So
in the
what
picture.
they're saying is it kind of comes into existence, and that's why people think it's a ghost because of the way it like
Oh.
appears, kind of.
Oh, that is weird.
But I think that's just live photo, something to do with
no. It
Apple's
looks
live
like it
photo
walks up
technology.
though.
Where did they appear? Like where did it appear for though?
But didn't this look like it walks? Because you see a bit of its head like through the bush, right?
Let's look.
Wait, you see, it's cool that they had to zoom right in because I couldn't tell that for the picture.
Here we go.
They're saying it
Right.
fades in.
So look, you can kind of see it. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
It's as if it's like that walking in.
It looks like somebody walking, but why would somebody just be there in the middle of the forest, like in the middle of like all that like
Might be a
greenery?
tribesman or something.
Nah.
Be somebody that lives just.
You know what? If you held a gun to my head, I would probably say that's what it is. But like,
It's weird how it all happens.
it's
but
weird
innit,
how
like,
everything that she researched added up and all. And like, see if you look at pictures, like if you look at pictures of night marchers in Hawaii, that's what that looks like.
Oh, is
Do-
it? Is it
aye.
actually like that? Aye.
It's like dark figures and like it's pretty mad. But
I see.
thought
I,
that was
I
crazy.
do believe in shit like that, like old mythology and stuff. Like I was want to talk about the day, like the mythology behind like Christmas,
Right.
right? So do you want me to go on it now?
Go on, mate. Go on.
Right. So I've got notes and all that here, man. I'm like a fucking newsreader.
Trevor McDonald, man.
Aye. So this is like kind of myth as well, but it's also pure true as well. It's just whether you believe that's what caused this, right? So this is what's saying is behind all your mad Christmas traditions.
Right.
And by that I mean like Santa and shit, right? This is like, sorry if there's any like 4-year-olds listening to this, I hope no, but obviously it's not real. But it's like this is where it's came from, because it's pure weird. See when you think about like Christmas and the shit that like, oh, you have a tree in your house and you have this and all that, it's all weird shit that we just accept, right? A big guy comes down your chimney and that just because he does, he's got presents and that. It's like, where did that come from? You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with like Christianity or anything in it, no?
No, I don't think so.
When you think about it, obviously he's a Saint Nicholas, but I don't think he went around on a sleigh with reindeers. Like, it's
Was there no like a mad guy who like done that, but then
But
He died.
probably.
But he
like,
just didn't have mad elves in that. He was just a mad old sort of pervert, probably.
Right, so this is what I believe, after reading up about it for ages, is what's behind on where it's came from, right? So there's a tribe called the Koryak tribe, right? And they're living like north of Siberia, so it's like no far from Lapland and that, where like Santa's meant to come from, like North Pole, right? And on the winter solstice, so that's like the shortest day of the year, it's the 21st of December. So around that time, right? Sounds like another date, doesn't it? So around that time, a shaman or a priest in Siberian tribes, he came bearing gifts, bags full of hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Right.
So see like the algaric mushroom, the Amanita muscaria, which Joseph, you'll be able to put pictures up here. It's like the toadstool ones, not I mean the red and white ones. They grow in Siberia under fern trees.
They grow in Siberia.
Aye, that's like they're pure native to there, aye.
Ah.
So they grow under trees though, like evergreen trees, which
Right.
is like red and white presents under trees, right?
Oh, right.
Right, and see the shaman, every winter solstice he goes and picks them, right? Hangs them on the trees, branches to dry them out, which is like baubles and that going on a tree, like
Right.
decorations, right? Dries them out, puts them on a big sack. He's on his sleigh, 'cause that's how they go about. And do you know what pulp the sleigh? Reindeer. Right? That's another fuck thing, right? See, in the winter solstice, like 9 times out of 10, every cunt gets snowed in Siberia.
Right.
So the only way to get into the house was through the smoke hatch in the roof, which is like the first chimney. I actually said this, right? Snowdrifts cover the yurt's main entrance. Shaman enters through the smoke hole at the top. Earliest chimney? Question mark.
So can
Like-
I, sorry, so like these mushies.
Yeah. You know what ones they are?
Aye, I know the stereotypical
Aye.
picture of a mushroom, right?
Yep.
So this guy delivers them to who? People in Siberia.
His clan. So
What,
like,
and they eat them and just get
so
tripping out on
a
that?
shaman is like a
Aye,
it's
like a mad, not
like
a priest, I
holy
don't know why.
person.
Aye.
It is. It's like a priest to
Aye.
pagan, like tribes and shit, right? So he was the only person that knew how to do that. Oh, and that's another thing. He dressed up in red and white because like
mushroom?
to honour the mushroom. So red and white suits, red and white hats and shit, right? Go all these things. Took them to different people, right? What they do with them to make them dry, they need to dry them out more when they get there. He would go through the chimney, give them. They would
He would just go through the chimney.
like the hole in
The
the
commitment
tap.
this guy has to deliver these mushies, by the
Right,
way.
but then
Wish
he
I knew
gets-
guys that had that sort of commitment to delivering
He
mushrooms.
gets paid in cookies and milk, bro. Oh, come on. But he gets paid in like yak's milk and food. That's actually what they used to give him. It's all links up, mate. There's so much
that
shit.
is really who Santa is.
Aye, so they would hang. They put them in a mad special. It's told you all this shit. A special pouch thing that they hang above the fire to dry them out, man.
Aye.
But like hanging stockings above a fire, like a weird pouch above.
So everything like lines up with what we do for
Everything's
Christmas.
perfectly. And so it said reindeer are native to Siberia and they love the mushroom as well. That's like their favourite food ever.
Reindeers?
And see when they take them, they would jump and prance and frolic, like
fucking-
jump my boot.
Of course they would, man.
Know what I mean? But there's honestly so much stuff. So this is where our Christmas traditions come from. See, if you just type in like trippy Christmas, it comes up hundreds of hundreds of shit, honestly.
Hundreds of conspiracy theories on
Aye,
Christmas.
but where it came from, because where did it come from? You just accept, like you've said this before about, like you just get
Everything.
told shit, and it's just like
Aye.
defo.
Aye.
So how is it like? How mad is it that it's weirder to us than a mad thing that exists in the world? These mushrooms and people that exist, shamans,
Aye.
go around tents, gain people their fucking
That's
thingies.
weirder than the actual concept of the Santa we think.
Aye, like going about in a sleigh and delivering presents to every child in the world.
Why, you know, they fucked up the Taylor Santa. Well, I suppose he would obviously need to air travel Santa, but I'm not buying that reindeer. Are you kidding on? Like, why does Santa no maybe get you a private jet to deliver? Like,
Aye.
we've got to move forward with the Santa story. We can't have him reindeers powering the sleigh and that.
You
No.
must have a bit of cash now, I know. Santa, know what I mean?
I know 7-year-olds out there that are saying fuck Santa, mate.
Really?
There was a bunch of them I seen at the shops all day, mate.
Just all spray paint and fuck Santa.
They said, "Right, big man, can I get a jump in?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Well, fuck Santa then."
And then you were, and then you were like,
And I was
what
like-
he's wanting.
Aye, then I said respect. I said, you ever heard about this tribe in Siberia?
You ever heard about the shaman?
You only be seen fox hunting,
Have you
mate.
seen shaman?
He's ever tried mushrooms?
Pure grooming the winds.
I know. No, it's class, mate. Actually, no, it's class.
What?
When you're like, say you were a person that done this, right? Say you smoked like, say when we guys are like smoking a joint,
Right.
right? And they're like in the tune and that, you always get some mad guy like to draw it going by going, that's not a fag, is it, boys? Every single time, mate. That's not what's that? Smells good, wee man.
That's no just tobacco.
Aye, the stuff you get now, scooch up, the stuff you get now is mad, isn't it, mate? All that carry and all that. I get that for fuck. I get that for 20 and a half
And then
Q, mate.
the joint's getting further away from him, going on that, and he's like, starting trying to talk to him
But
about
then when he gets it, you're no seeing the rest.
No.
Aye, and then once I done that, mate,
Yes,
it was basically all guns blazing. I mean,
it's mad.
you're like,
It's mad the confidence of the cunts, but like I always think that about this is a pure lesser version of that. See cunts that go, yeah, shot the ball. When they're going by and they try and do a wee trick, no, always falling their off.
I have a theory about that, mate.
What?
See, like, when you're younger and a mad nutter comes up to you and says, geezer kicking that ball. That was where the term a lose-lose situation was born, mate. You give them the ball, you're no getting the ball back. You don't give him the ball, he's probably going to lay you. So there's no way out. The best thing to do, run.
Aye,
Run,
with
mate.
the ball.
Run till your legs fall off.
Would you dribble the ball when you're running, do you think, or would you pick it up
It depends. Depends what sort of day it is and the sort of wind direction. But
in the terrain?
aye, to the terrain. If I'm running through Hawaii, mate, night march, isn't it? You think I'm dribbling, bro?
You're fucking
I'm
that
running like fucking Johnny Wilkinson with that ball, bro.
Charging through night marches.
He's maybe a kicker, Johnny Wilkinson, I think, man.
Was he? Aye, do you know
aye.
about rugby?
No, that's literally the one guy I know, mate. I know him and what's his name?
Don't know any of them.
Barney Gumble.
Aye?
That-
Is that a real guy?
No, he's at The Simpsons, mate.
Is that the mad
That's
douchebag, innit? The mad alky?
Barney Gumble, mate. The Scotland, what's that mad rugby position? The Scotland fly half.
Aye, right half.
Barney Gumble.
What a player.
Barney Gumble, Sports Personality of the Year in Scotland. For the 5th time in a row.
Thanks, Mo.
Thanks, Scotland.
That's like the mad side one.
It vibrates that.
Mate, do you know what I feel funny? Right, this is a pure app topic, right? Basically, The Simpsons. The pure funniest one I was watching the other day. Homer like, invents a mad beer, right? Like a mad alcoholic drink with like cough syrup or something. It's probably David Lean in that. And he shows it to Mo, and then Mo starts selling it, and he's got hundreds of customers. And Homer's obviously raging, right? And he's storing outside Mo's, and the door's swinging like that, and he's going, "You've lost a customer!" And then there's like so many people in there. He's like, "What?" I think that's the pure funniest thing ever.
Do you know, like, see The Simpsons, man? You watch The Simpsons when you're a wee guy and you love it and that, and then I feel like I went through a period where I was like, fuck The Simpsons, a wee guy thing. But
Aye.
see, when you see it now,
mate,
it's
it's amazing.
so good. So good, man. Genius stuff.
Aye, because it was when like you were like Family Guy and American Dad and all that.
The raunchy stuff,
It
bro.
was like that, not playing with you anymore. meme.
The late night baby BBC 3 Family Guy, bro.
That was unreal,
And
man.
RIP to BBC 3, man. You're a legend.
I know what the funniest Simpsons joke ever is, right? It's Lisa's like saying thanks to Homer for doing something for her, like say wraps her arms somewhere or something. And she goes, "Oh, thanks, Dad." And he goes, "That's okay, Lisa. Any friend of Marge is a friend of mine." Like, it doesn't understand what being a dad is, mate. How funny is that?
Mate, it's so funny to imagine somebody being that dumb in real life, innit?
He
Like,
doesn't know the
actually.
concept of fatherhood.
A friend of Marge is a friend of mine.
He just thinks about the Marge in this.
And there's just these pals walking about. Mate, imagine that. I think, fuck, man, that's crazy, man. You can definitely get yourself into that state, taking that MCAT and that, mate. I've seen a guy, I know a guy for Forfar that took that much MCAT that he forgot who he was with.
What even
Everything.
was MCAT? Was it not like fertiliser or something? It's like plant fertiliser.
People are like,
Mate, it's about
people are like, what does it to get you out your nut, aye? Aye, mate, aye. Nice, fuck it.
I don't care what it is. No, but mate, I don't know if you want to pure advertise how much drugs are, but it's like 15 quid for an ounce of it or something.
Mate, anything that's 15 quid for an ounce, even like sugar, mate, I'm like, no touching, not I mean, 15, you sound like you're literally trying to just give me this for nothing, mate.
Flour in the shop, no.
I'm not buying nothing that's 15 quid. 15 quid it is, man, jeez.
Fucking mental.
But I don't buy drugs, anyone.
No, it's bad for you.
We hate them. And
Fuck drugs.
Fuck drugs, drugs for losers. Look at that loser over there taking drugs.
Drugs is for mugs.
I would actually batter anybody that ever took drugs. I would fucking leather any cunt that's ever took drugs if I ever meet any of yous and yous are full of the drugs.
Aye.
You're fucking getting leathered off me, my dad, Boxing Day.
Somebody goes up and says, I've took drugs before.
That's who we target, mate. See, people are coming home that Boxing Day morning or out with the boys and that. Nah, you're getting leathered, boys. You're getting jumped at. And me and my dad don't even do it like honourably, mate. We jump people for the back of that. Horrible stuff.
Hoods up, no, no.
Hoods up on Boxing Day, mate. That's the way the Reillys do it, man. That's how they do it. But, mate.
I'm buzzing for it this year.
Aye, what, Crimby?
No.
Next Christmas.
Boxing Day boozing.
The Boxing Day boxing.
Boxing Day boxing, sorry. Boxing Day boozing's my family tradition, mate. That's what we do.
We do that then, have the booze, man.
Aye. I celebrate a pipe.
That's how we say it. That's how we earn our booze in the Boxing Day. And if somebody leathers the two of us, we'll go again, bro.
Aye,
we'll go
obviously.
again, mate.
Aye.
No,
You need to get up, man.
That was actually, it's funny, I say we go again. See the Reilly coat of arms, mate. That's what it says above it.
What is the coat of arms?
Try and get the Reilly coat of arms up, Joseph, please. And I'll tell you about this this little story that I've been researching. Oh my God, bro.
That is a sexy
Mate,
coat
that
of
is
arms.
pretty actual nice, man.
It looks a bit royal to me. It's got a left hand there and a right hand.
It does look
dripping with
pretty.
blood and shit.
It looks pretty. It does. Mate, what is that doing? Is that two lines stabbing someone's hand and there's blood pulling at the hand?
I think they're celebrating the hand being
Do you know
theirs.
what that is? The Reillys always hate thieves, bro, and that is us representing that any thief will get their horn chopped off on Boxing Day.
The Kelly coat of arms says 5-finger discount. Well, than that, we're the complete opposite. We love thieves.
And I've got the lions just stabbing a horn. Could a lion stab? I don't think a lion's capable of that.
Wait, has
No,
it
I'm talking about
appendages?
like with a utensil.
No, need thumbs to
Fucking-
stab.
These are actual jokes, all the lions out there.
This is what makes
Can't
it-
even stab, man. But listen, all the lions out there, mate, all the lions listen to this thinking King of the Jungle, mate. You can't even make a bit of toast, man. Get a grip of yourself. Fucking
Jamie's got the
absolutely
worst.
pathetic.
Jamie's got the worst coat of arms ever, man. You see this?
Does it get bobies or something like that?
Show bobies. It's all bobies. A coat of bobies.
I keep zooming in. But
A bobby GK.
It's literally a coat of bobies, man.
right.
You get it. That's alright.
Similar concept.
Blue and green, mate.
He's hands across the divide.
Jamie Kelly sitting on the fence as usual, man. The royal blue and Celtic green coat of arms.
What are they? Are they
What does that say?
panthers or something?
I think the lions again.
I think they're squirrels, bro. I think they're wee pathetic squirrels, bro.
Mate, look, I've got a decapitated knight above it.
Why do your lions look like they've got alopecia, mate?
Mate, there's much better Kelly coat of arms there, and he's clicked the pure worst one.
Mate, you only get one coat of arms, man.
There's about 9 there.
That's what people making custom coats of arms. Can you do that, man?
DIY coat of arms.
A DIY, do-it-yourself coat of arms.
Mm-hmm.
I got my dad that for Christmas, mate.
There's a felt and all that, comes the glue and all.
Merry Christmas, Dad. Make your own coat of arms, man.
We march on, or what you saying? We go again.
Jamie, obviously it's Boxing Day, day after Christmas, and I actually planned a wee surprise. I'm actually going to sing everyone and all the listeners at home a wee Christmas song just to see you out the festive period.
Oh, that's lovely.
Just kind of shut the door on it and
Yep.
just, right, ready? Jingle bells, buy a Collection 26 hoodie. That's the song that you should be singing this year. Seriously. If you've not got a Collection 26 hoodie by now,
I don't know what you're doing with yourself, man.
I don't like calling people this, but what a trap. So, like the thing is, you can't argue against it now. You've seen the designs. Obviously, they designed these spacesuits for us, which we can't thank them enough.
Aye, saving lives and all.
We would be literally dead if they didn't do it.
Yep.
So, as always, use the code when you're buying from Collection 26, Reilly's Gaff, for 10% off. Go spend your Christmas money on it, guys. Are you young? Did your mum just give you all sorts of money for Christmas? Go and buy Collection 26 clothes with every single bit of that money, and you will not be sorry you done that.
Every single bit of the money.
Every bit, pennies, don't buy socks, everything. All their info is in our description to get to their website, to get their Instagram. Go have a wee look. Tell them Reilly's Gaff sent you. Cheers. Oh, hello there. It is Boxing Day, and I'm just wondering, man, did you get a lot of presents this year, right? PS5?
Ooh.
MacBook?
A lot of money there.
Balenciagas?
Ooh.
Listen to me. And seriously listen. What I want you to do with all day presents is go and shift them, right? Take them back. You go to the receipt, take them back.
Go and sell them under a bridge.
Sell them on Facebook, right? PS5, people, somebody will snap that up in a minute. They'll even come to your house and get it. Bet you any money, right? Sell it. Get a grand total of your presents. Presents are a short-term investment. We're looking at the long game here. And no one looks better at the long game than Investor Watch UK. So I want you to take that money and put it into Investor Watch UK and try and expand this money. Try and make your money level up, double, triple, quadruple. What's 5?
Okay. I've not got a fucking clue.
Pentagonal. Pentuple.
Pentuple.
So you want to make your money pentuple. Going into 2022, sign up for Investor Watch UK. What are they getting, Jamie?
They're getting a month's free.
A whole month?
A whole month free into the Telegram group. They've got 4 contributors to this.
Multi-6-figure investments.
Multi-6-figure investments.
These are trusted heads in this sort of space, troops. So get in. Go to the description. The link's there. Give it a month. There's no commitment. You don't need to sign up for it for the rest of the year. Go and try it out. Let us know what you think. We've heard amazing things. You can go on Trustpilot and look at all the reviews. These guys are legit. So go and try it. Tell them Reilly's Gaff sent you. Cheers.
Cheers.
How we doing, guys? Now, obviously, you know that the barbers to go to in Glasgow, Myles Co Barbers. Jamie was there today, weren't you?
I was.
Who cut your hair today?
Young Ryan cut my hair today. By the way, I found out he is young. I thought he was like an older guy because he looks wild, man.
You think he looks old?
His horns are massive.
Aye.
He's got a big, long white beard.
Really?
Aye.
White? Aye?
Aye, and he cuts your hair when he has shoes on. Just his thing.
Oh, in a happy kind of way, or just a kind of unhygienic sort of way?
Aye, like a chaotic way, I think. But it's good to see. Like, he's definitely good and see it.
Aye. I mean, I kind of maybe need to go soon. I need to see young Campbell, the most gentle hands. This guy, believe it or not, mate, he has the Johnson & Johnson baby oil.
Aye.
And after every hair he cuts, he splashes his horns in it.
Aye.
And then dips your head in it as well.
Aye, like a baptism kind of
It's
thing.
just all about the gentle, moist experience with young Campbell. And do you know, Callum was actually telling me a story, mate. Listen to this story, troops. Can you believe this? Callum used to work in a barber's that believed that one of the barbers in the shop believed that using a hairdryer was gay. Now let's actually think about the insecurity in someone to be thinking. I mean, there's a lot of things that are gay. A guy sucking another guy's dick,
Aye.
that's pretty gay.
Putting your dick up a guy's arse is quite gay.
That could be called gay. Using a hairdryer.
As a barber. Mate, that is mental.
Aye, like what are you going to do with all the hair that's there? Are you going to gently blow on it with your neck?
That is a lot.
That's a lot gayer.
Yes.
And I'm sure all gay fans can confirm that. That is a lot. That's a gay activity. It's just not a gay activity, just a more sensual sort of intimate thing. And if you're too scared to use the hairdryer, then
What are your options?
But we can promise you, everybody at Myles Co has the hairdryer locked and loaded.
Oh.
So don't ever doubt that.
The Dyson Airblades, by the way.
Is that what they've got?
Best of gear. I noticed that today.
Jesus, look. The thing is, why are you, if you haven't been by now, why you no went? Because the thing is, because you watch this podcast, you're going to get money off your haircut. Where have you ever heard that? People getting you money off your haircut? You don't just, that doesn't come along
It's not a
often.
thing, no.
So, and they're the best about. It's not even like a kind of, oh, we need to go in, but it's like some guy with like one arm and like
Ryan's got one of them and all.
Oh, you're joking. I'm sorry, Ryan. But I go down there, tell them Reilly's Gaff sent you. If you're booking through the Booksy app, write Reilly's Gaff in the notes. Anytime you're booking during the haircut, just say, hi, I seen you on Reilly's Gaff, and your haircut's going to be a bit cheaper. So get down there, troops. Cheers. But we better get back onto the crazy shit.
I'm looking forward to it.
So I've been looking into, troops, you know, obviously for the last podcast that I like a bit of sort of what interests me in this life of ours people is the idea of other civilizations, right? They could be living the new, they could be living before us, they could be living at any time, but civilizations that we don't know about, mate.
Right.
Civilizations like the Egyptians, right? But what intrigues me most is Atlantis, mate.
Oh.
No, aye, there you go.
Oh.
So I'll tell you a bit about Atlantis, right? So I'm sure everybody's probably heard of Atlantis. I think there's a Disney movie called Atlantis, so, and that's maybe what people think. But Atlantis, right? Atlantis was told, the story of Atlantis was told by Plato, right? So Plato was like a Greek philosopher, right? In ancient Greece, obviously. So he told this story. He like documented this story at 360 BC, mate. So this is how old the story of Atlantis is, right? So that's what Plato said about Atlantis, right? The founders of Atlantis were half god and half human, right? So that's who created it, right? And they created a utopian civilization, and they became a great naval power. So as you can see, like they've made forts of water and stuff like that all around there, right? So their home, so their land was made up of concentric islands separated by wide moats and linked by a canal that penetrated to the centre. So as you can see, troops, madness, right? So that's what Atlantis was meant to have looked like, right?
So how big is that? Like how, do you know what I mean?
I'll get to that, right? Because obviously that's quite a hard sort of scale, but that's what it was meant to have looked like. Obviously there's no pictures, but like this is the description, and this is what people have made of that description sort of thing, right? So obviously people are nobody's ever found Atlantis, right? Like nobody's ever went, because people search for it, people go on like dives. There's a monument in Japan called you don't need to get this up, but it's called the Yonaguni Monument, and it's an island in Japan called Yonaguni Island, I think. And you go under the water, and there's like literally you keep going diving right down, and there's like spiral staircases. And this is under the water into rocks, right? It's perfectly symmetrical buildings, like all this mad shit, massive stairs and that. So but nobody's ever said like that's Atlantis. Nobody's ever found it, right? But there's a YouTuber called Bright Insight, right? His channel is amazing. This is where I got all this information for just watching his videos. This guy properly researches this shit. Like he's living, you know what I mean? He makes YouTube videos about it. So I found this on this. So there is a place. So in the Sahara Desert, right? There's a part of the Sahara Desert in Mauritania, right? And Mauritania is like basically all Sahara Desert, right? So there's a place there called the Eye of Africa, right? And the other name for it is the rickshaw structure, right? So can you get that picture up, the rickshaw structure? So what this is right, bearing in mind what you've just seen of Atlantis there, right, what that looked like, right? So he's found this thing, and honestly, mate, I had never heard it before he put it up, right? So this is the rickshaw structure, right? So you look at like the rings, right? Know what I mean? Ring, land. Because obviously to us right now, right, you're looking at this and you're thinking, how big is that? That just looks like a bit of sand or something, right? The diameter of this, right, for like one side to the other, 29.8 miles.
Fuck's sake, right, okay.
And obviously it's deep fried, and if we're deep frying, we're converting things into Cineworlds.
Have you done it?
Guys, from one end of this to the other is 752 Cineworlds.
Oh my god.
Fucking hell. No way. Lying down,
mate. That how like you can't even comprehend that.
How big that is. That's where the Cineworld scale Disney work as well, is saying miles.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No, like I think to get your point across, Cineworld, I think that works better.
Do you think so?
I mean 752 of them.
It's
Mind we
hard
were
to
talking about
conceive,
some daft owl at Bohemian Grove that was that 2 of them or something.
0.65.
Aye, it wasn't even one full Cineworld, man.
So this is 700.
So this is 29.8 miles in diameter, right? So that's like, I mean, you're right, miles does sound good because like...
That's like here to Kilmarnock. That's like Glasgow to Kilmarnock or something.
Probably no, further. I don't know. Maybe further? No.
Maybe.
Something, it's not far off it.
Aye.
But, aye, so I mean, let's think about that for a distance and look at that thing, right? So, this is like a mad structure, right? It's crazy. So, people are just finding out about this new kind of thing. But there are CIA declassified files on this, right? Because they found this and were like, we need to, what is this? It's just in the Sahara Desert, right? It's called, they nickname it the Eye of Africa because it looks like an eye, obviously. But there's declassified files. That obviously means that you can read the files. They're declassified, do you know what I mean? So in 1967, the CIA investigated the rickshaw structure, sending military aircraft to search the area and conduct scientific experiments, right? What they were searching for in the scientific experiments was geomagnetic anomalies, right?
Right.
What that means is, like, see the Earth's field, the magnetic field that stops us just floating into oblivion in space kind of thing, that allows us to travel through space. It's parts of the Earth where the normal, like, why the Earth is with the field, the magnetic field is totally different there, right?
Okay.
So they believe that he's saying he believes that could be Atlantis because it's came like out the ground in another world almost, you know what I mean?
Right,
like
okay.
so the CIA went there, conducted these scientific experiments, right? So here we go, like places, so geomagnetic anomalies, places where the Earth's magnetic fields act differently, right? So in the reports, which are declassified, so everything you can read, except see the part about the experiments, it's just blanked out white.
Right, okay.
Every other part of that, the reports, what they found, you can read. When it gets to that bit, it's totally blanked out. And this isn't like bullshit, because this guy's like investigated this, and obviously he investigates this shit, right? So like, see me or you, see if I was like, I just googled it and found the CIA declassified file, man. You'd be like, no, you didn't, right? But like, this guy actually investigates this shit, and he shows you a picture in the video of the file, like he's photocopied it, and it's sitting there, and it's like results of the scientific experiments, and it's just like Tipex, basically, like a big white box. So still to this day, we don't know what the fuck this is, where it's came from, what it could be. You know, looking at that picture, you're actually thinking to yourself, right, this is like just a mad fucking bit of the ground, because it's actually hard to comprehend looking at the picture how big that is.
How tall it is in China.
Exactly, mate. So people don't know what this is, but see the story of Atlantis, right? It actually originated from the Egyptians, right? So the Egyptians said Atlantis was an empire that had several kingdoms, and the capital was on an island that consisted of 3 rings of water and 2 of land. Right, Joseph. See if you Google rickshaw structure and look at try and find one where it's quite white at the raised bits, right? So, as I was saying, the Egyptians first gave the tale Atlantis, right? So, another thing about the rickshaw structure, right, is like that matches the description of Plato and the Egyptians, right?
Right.
Like
pure different cultures.
Like they've not found anywhere else on Earth that like remotely represents that, right? It's like it looks like it could have been something, and the sea was said. Even show that. So see, it's fine. So see like the blue bits. Seeing like the circles, right? See how it's like going like white and blue. That is salt, right? Which tells you that's been under the sea.
Right, okay.
At one point, you know what I mean?
I get you.
And the fact, like, there's so much evidence that points towards it, right? So the white, bright blemishes you see are salt. And if you see, try and get a different picture. Try and get it like just type in rickshaw structure.
I thought we were going for a different angle.
No, even a comparison, just a normal thing. And then, like Plato said, the capital city was constructed with red, black, and white rocks. Like specifically gave that detail, which is quite like unusual, like to point out. Like all the rocks were red, black, and white. And see if you Google, we can put the picture up later. But see if you search, So if you search about the rocks. That all the rocks round about this structure are like like red,
Like
black
pure
and white.
red,
Like
aye.
every single description matches this place. So the Egyptians also said that the sea was said to open at the south of the city, and that matches the rickshaw structure. Like, see, if you look at that, it's closed off by mountains here, right? And then it opens up down there.
Aye, towards the sea.
Aye, but towards the south.
Towards the south, sorry.
Aye.
That's fucking mad, isn't it?
And like, see how it's bright white in there and that? That's
Aye.
salt.
So it's
Why
got
is there
some-
salt there?
I know, in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
Mm-hmm.
But how can that possibly have been in the sea and then moved
To the
all the way
desert?
onto the land?
Right,
Aye, like,
well,
we get theories
this is
about
the
that.
thing, right? This is the thing about the Sahara Desert, right? So, see, previously, right, until no even that long ago, we thought the Sahara Desert had been the Sahara Desert for like millions of years, right? Like actual millions of years. So we thought, they estimated it was 7 million years old. See, recently, we learned, this is facts, by the way, you can search this shit, it's actually only 5,000 years old.
What, the
right?
Sahara Desert
Aye.
is?
So like
Fuck's sake.
we previously thought it was 7 million, and now we've realised it's only 5,000. And see, 5,000 years ago on the Sahara Desert, see, because they've tested the ground and stuff now, they know that 5,000 years ago the Sahara Desert had lush greenery, people living on it, animals.
So it needs to be like
Aye. So it's obviously proof that shit can grow there, crops can grow there. There can be like you could live there almost. It's like habitable.
habitable, yes.
Yeah.
Or it was at one point at least.
Aye. They wanted to like
be a
know.
wormhole.
They went to like see what was up with it, and nobody knows what happened with it.
Wormhole would be a wormhole.
So see, in that Interstellar, have you seen that?
Gravitational anomaly.
There's like what you said, like something wrong with that, and it's a wormhole to another world.
Aye, a dimension of
That's like,
it.
aye,
a
so
galaxy.
that's where Atlantis is for.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson called it the most scientifically accurate sci-fi film or something like that.
And it's,
Really?
it's shit like that, mate. So that's like, if that's got the same thing they're talking about with the magnetic field, the anomalies in it, then that could be a portal to another world.
Aye, this is the
Know what I
thing,
mean?
man, and it's like, see, people watching this, they're probably the type of people who are open to this shit being true, but it's like, see, people who just they're just like, nah, just by some rocks, mate, or something. You're
Aye.
like, no. What, like, they don't realise what we're doing right now is mental. Like the fact that we're all just walking about on this planet that's hurtling through space, and what we think that there can't be portals to other places and that.
Aye.
Like, look at the shit that goes on, earthquakes and that. Imagine there was never an earthquake, right? And somebody was like, yeah, the right, can listen to this, right? See, back in the day, there was, see, randomly, like, there would just be, like, shifts in the plates in the earth, and the world would just shake. You'd be like, mate, get yourself checked in the hospital,
I know,
honestly.
I know.
But because it does happen, we're like, oh, it's an earthquake.
Mate, one of the maddest things ever is just how everything works. Like,
Aye.
so the world spins and it goes around the sun that amount of times, and that works it to that. And like, even just shit like the sun rising is fucking mad, but just because it's like normal to you know.
Aye, because it's all you've ever known. But
Aye.
then, because we've never been taught any of the other shit about like ancient civilizations, and you're like, nah, no way, man.
Aye,
It's
I know.
fucking crazy, mate.
But even just being open to shit like this is, you're just happier. Like,
I know.
why if you're raging like, obviously no mate, fuck up, like, just, know what I mean?
Just believe
about it.
everything.
Aye, believe everything you hear.
Believe every conspiracy theory you ever hear, and that's. Oh, but aye, we never even looked at the article. So recently, so this is in 2010, they found, so I'll just read it out for you guys. Beneath the sands of the Sahara Desert, scientists have discovered evidence of a prehistoric mega lake formed some 250,000 years ago when the Nile River pushed through a low channel near Wadi Tushka. It flooded the eastern Sahara, creating a lake that at its highest level covered more than 42,000 square miles. So this lake was like bigger than any ocean ever.
Aye.
And they found it under the Sahara Desert, which means
that it used to be there, like
Aye.
it used to be covering it.
Aye.
A certain amount of year ago. That's fucking mad.
if there's water there, obviously they talk about when they find water on like Mars and that, they know that there's been like life there, if you know what I mean,
Aye.
or like there's a chance that there's life there or whatever. But aye, man, who knows,
Aye,
man.
because that's what you were saying. Like, that's what, see, lakes and shit, that helps bring, like, see, the reason that other countries have, like, mad palm trees and, like, tropical and everything's all lush and all that is, like, to do with the temperature of water running by it and stuff like that does. So what you were saying earlier on about there being hundreds of greenery there and it being habitable, a big fucking massive lake would
Aye,
do that, know what I mean?
definitely, man. But aye, you got anything else you want to tell me, Jamie?
That is madness, but the shit I've got, it's like, madder.
Oh,
It's fucking madder.
is it? Yeah, fucking.
It actually is, but like the shit I've got is madder than that, 100%. I'd say.
Okay.
Right, so
It's madder than ancient civilization.
maybe no, actually, maybe
Right,
no,
alright.
but it's equally as mad in
I
my mind.
think just the words ancient civilization just make you shudder a bit. Maybe.
You're in for a ride when you hear the words, or when you hear the word Native American mythology.
Oh my goodness gracious. Tell me about
Sit
it.
down, guys. Listen to this.
Sitting back, mate.
So, according to there's a thing in these old, it's like Northern American, so like Canada and like some northern like US states and all. In the winter, it was like, see, because it was all tribal and stuff, it was pure like hard to survive like through the winter when like all the animals were dying and shit and or like hibernating and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it wasn't, you couldn't go out and hunt and shit, so countries used to get pure starving, right? And they got that starving that they would like turn into cannibals.
Right.
But there was like, they call this the Wendigo, right? So it's something that they believe comes over people. And it's like, but they change for being like normal people. They have a mad insatiable, like they can't, do you know what I mean? Like
Can't
something.
control themselves,
And they say it's like a spiritual animal. So they say things like, so there's some of the tribes, so this is all different thing. They've never spoke to each other, obviously. Do you know what I mean? Like they're spaced out that far. They don't travel. They're no like nomadic or anything. They just stay where they are and live their life, you know what I mean? But they all have the same stories. They've called it different shit, but it's all about this thing that people say it's a giant with a heart of ice, sometimes thought to be entirely made of ice, right? Because what they used to do to these people, if they caught them, is like burn their bodies, but the heart wouldn't burn. And they said it's like it would just be sitting there still in the fire and they had to wait for pure ages for that to burn. It said it's like thawing out with ice. Like that's what they're like when this thing comes out of them and they're just sound with eating people. They're like that's there, do you know what I mean? Their heart going all icy and shit. So there's some describe it as that, some describe it as I said, just like a malevolent spirit, sometimes depicted as a creature with human-like characteristics, or like a spirit that possesses people.
Aye.
So it's either like in different places, different things, but it's either like a spirit that takes people over and then turns them into this Wendigo, or it is a thing.
It's that thing that appears.
Aye. So, so there's other things about it, like it was dead. It was just creepy. Like Joseph will be able to put up, maybe show pictures and all of the Wendigo. But it's like the way they all describe them. It's like the pure scariest thing I've ever genuinely see, because it also said like it's thought to be way cannibals like through all history and stuff, because they're obviously real.
Aye.
But see if they do it enough, they get because they're eating just pure like weird protein, if you know what I mean. They get big
Mad
but
supercharged
skinny.
protein,
Aye.
like mad weirdly. Like because you're eating like, I think there's something in there's something about like, I don't know, like there's a reason that humans don't want to eat other humans, like, and it's there must be something weird with like eating, like, you know how they say if you eat I'd say like a cow, right, that was like very well looked after, lived a happy life, and that the meat will taste better. There must be something.
It's free range and shit.
I seen something about that in Joe Rogan once, and it was like somebody was explaining something. It might have been about cannibals, and it was like they can like see when they're eating a human, it's like you actually are ingesting their feelings and thoughts and all that somehow, because it's in your cells.
That is fucking mad.
But so you think that's what this is?
Aye. So that kind of is, but look, this is what they kind of describe people as. But they say, as I said, they say like because you're eating this mad pure weird protein shit, you get pure skinny but also big. If you know what I mean.
Certain parts of your body go big, but you're right.
Right. So that's like
fucking hell.
And but also like so there's no been. It was between 1800 and 1920, all the stories were like all the time. It was all these stories. People say it could be because like it was just a warning to people to not get too greedy, because it was all about greed, if you know what I mean, like because it's insatiable hunger.
It's
that
like
just
a feeling that comes over you that's like you can't control yourself almost, like you're taken over by something. Like
exactly. So but then also in 2019 there's been sites of like mad figure things like this, like there's other ones that they say like the bones at the head was like what they wore, if you know what I mean, like this certain people that done it. But there's been weird sightings of shit like this, like in 2019 in Ontario there was mysterious howls for the woods, and the hiker that heard it said, I've heard many different animals in the wild, but nothing like this. Person that saw it described it perfectly to be something like that.
This is the thing as well, like we're talking about no knowing what sort of creatures and that are out there, like has everybody see the people who are like, these are all the species and this is it, and like obviously they don't say we've found it all, but it's like all the ones that have found doesn't mean that there's ones that, I mean, nobody's been to fucking every square inch of the earth, like you don't know what's out there.
What's going on out there, I know. And but like they say, kind of like, no, we would know. Do you know what I mean?
Aye,
but there's always new species of everything getting discovered all the time.
Mate, it's like, you ever seen, I mean, I think they're fake, man, but some of them look mad, like the mad mermaids bodies and that wash up in the shore and that in Mexico and that. Mate, some of the videos are like, I don't know how you could explain sort of what it, like, I mean, you can edit a video, I get, you get Bigfoot ones where the camera shakes and then there's figure walks by and you're like, well, you've done something to that, or like a UFO one or whatever, but these ones I've seen in like Mexico and that, like these mad bodies washing up in the shore and it's mad skeletons.
Man,
and
the ones are fucking
they
mad.
are fucked up, aren't they?
Aye, it's like creatures, but they look pure like aliens. Like
Aye, and they're all decrepit and all that.
Aye, they are creepy,
Mate,
they
it's
fucking things. But aye, so that's like that's like mythology behind cannibalism. People say like, no, you turn into this demonic thing that's pure hangway. But there's also, Scotland's got its very own one. It's no your it's no your Hollywood.
Bonnie bang, Bonnie bang.
His name was Robbie Burns, right?
I ate cunts, but some part of it.
No, but this is the maddest story, and this has been pure like my family style. So this guy called Sonny Bean the Cannibal, right? There's a cave that you can just go to. Like I've been to it before, and this is where this guy stayed, right? So, it was a normal guy for West Lothian, right? But he lost his job and he moved with his wife for some reason. Moved to Ayrshire and Benane Cave, right? Ballantrae in Ayrshire. So it was like they moved to this cave just to become like hermits. That happened like all the time apparently. Because there was another one that's close to that, another mad hermit cave. But they were like, right, I've no job. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. So he was like,
to the cave.
I'll just so he's like, I'll just
low rent.
become a thief, right?
Oh, right.
So that's his thing. He's like, thieving's easy, right? So he would just go out and like there'd be people going by in like horse and cart and shit, right? And he would just go out and like run your fucking wallet. That's literally what he did to them. So he would go out and barter them and all that, take their money, and then take like whatever food or anything they had on them and pure go back to the cave, because the cave's like 36 the cave's like 36 miles long. So see, when he was out and he was robbing these cunts, right, he realised that like they would start, like I think he'd done it a few times and just let them go kind of thing, just robbed them, done, right, fuck off. But then I think he started getting people looking for him, if you know what I mean. So he was like, I just need to kill them now, right? And he was just alright with that. So he just started killing the cunts, and then he was like, what did I do with the bodies? And he was like, oh, to save going to the shop and buying like meat with the shit I've robbed them off, I'll just eat them. So that's what him and his wife started doing, right? But this is like,
why did that pure burst out laughing?
because it's mad.
It's like so funny thinking about somebody like having that like train of thought, like,
aye.
I mean, I could go to Asda, but this is right here. Like
This old woman that's just walked by my house looks alright.
I mean, it's basically a steak. I just need to do the butcher. Do you think that rational people ever get into that? Pure, I mean, would save some money. I mean,
You try to rationalise
I
it.
could get little Tommy that toy he wants for Christmas.
Aye. See, if we just didn't need to buy food, he doesn't mind it if it's tender and anyway he'll eat it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Think of it like coming back from work and be like, look guys, times are tough. We're going to need to start catching people and eating them. Look, me and your mum are working very hard, but there's only so much we can do. We've got 4 kids. So that could be like a documentary.
so we'll just make it so that we've got 3 kids and a meal for the night.
I like a guy. It could be like a mad mockumentary, like a guy, and he's like, "So you're a cannibal?" He's like, "No, I'm a money saver." That's what.
Aye. No, I'm just frugal with my cash.
I just like money.
Aye,
but
right.
What you saying?
So that was what the Beans were like, the Bean family, right? So, but what I think's mad is with that Wendigo
What's
thing.
his name?
Sonny Bean.
Sonny Bean.
Aye, it's a cannibal's name, innit? So
I
but that's what's thinking with that Wendigo thing. Like, it was just so like, aye, I'll just start doing that. I'll just start eating the people. Like, you don't think that unless something pure takes over you. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, it's no natural instinct, maybe.
Aye, exactly. So, but then his wife and him started having babies, right? They had 14
Of course,
little
fancy.
beans in the cave. Fed them all cunts. for years and years till they
Fed them like real people.
till they
Not
grew up.
cut-
So
no,
what
no,
they did was like when they were growing up, it was like the oldest one started going out and helping them, and it was like they started doing mad ambushes and shit, if you know what I mean, like mad military style things to get these cunts. But then these 14 Waynes, they all started having Waynes with each other, like incestual Waynes. There ended up 58 of them.
I think they call that a tin of Heinz, man.
158 Sonny beans. 58 beans in a cave. Mate, how mad's that, right?
The Heinz gang, man.
They were all baked. Aye. So as years went by, the family grew older, right? And their high protein diet, they got bigger because of that. So they
Because
were
they're
all,
eating
every
beef.
generation was getting bigger and more fucked and all that.
Wait. How long ago was this?
Type it up, Joseph. It was, I think it was like the 1600s or something.
Oh, mate, I genuinely like was kind of thinking that you were going to say like I'm fucking 1960.
The 80s or something.
90s, mate, mad time in Ayrshire. man.
You know what it was like? What is it?
16th century,
16, so that's 1500.
1700.
So, but type in, is it?
So, I don't
No,
know.
it's the opposite way. It's
No, it's-
1500.
No.
If it's the 16th
I
century.
would be 1500 and something.
But I
Not
see.
that makes any difference.
But see if you can look up The Hills Have Eyes. Have you seen the film The Hills Have Eyes?
Is that what it's based on?
It's like, see, like the mad cunts in the caravan, they're hillbillies, but their teeth are all fucked.
Aye,
and
they're
like,
all fucked
they're
up.
all weird, or their skin's all like decomposing looking and shit. That's what people say because they've been eating. Like, it was the same with the Wendigos as well. It was like because they're constantly eating cunts, it's like their skin's pure rotten and shit. Like, so they start decomposing. So that's how they look like they mad fuck things. Do
So
you know
like
what I mean?
half their body, you can see their rib cage and all that, but
Aye,
they've got pure massive biceps. and that.
Tell you one thing, right? Before I look at it, I will say, speaking of films and all that, Sonny Bean, there's a film, Bobby the Barman plays him.
Oh, did they?
Really?
Aye.
What,
Quite funny.
what film is it?
It's like the Adventures of Sonny Bean and Bean Madison.
Adventures, mate. I call that criminal activity. It's beyond criminal activity. Criminal activity is what he was up to at first. Tell me more.
Speaking of, right, so they had this encounter, right, that this is horrible, right, so so the way they get caught was there was a fair going on in like Stranraer. It's weird talking about places that are here than now.
But that's why I was like 80s.
So there's a fair going on there. So there was this husband and wife coming back for it, right, going to Girvan probably, like, and they're going by. So it's like they send out like 6 beans that way, 6 beans that way, take out the husband and wife, right? But see the 6 beans that had the wife, they like tore, no, listen, you won't laugh, tore her off the cart thing, stripped her and disemboweled her, right? Before
God.
the other beans got the husband under control. So he was like, fucking get away in the horse and knocked all them down and all that. So see when he was like, so he had left, and by that time there was other people coming for the fair, and he was like, "Yeah, look, wait, do you see this? Like, you need to come up here." They all went up and they all seen it. Like these mad, like they left behind that
Flesh-eating,
wife, and like they just scurried back into their cave. So the guy was like,
Mate,
"We don't
that-
know." Nobody had ever. It was the longest missing person list in British history. Like them fucking eating cunts, like them taking cunt.
The
And
beans are racking them up, man.
catching bodies, bro.
The beans are catching bodies, man. Or the beans are coming out of the cave with teardrop tattoos and that.
But it's made such a horrible story. But so they ended up getting caught this way because it was the biggest. That was it. It went to the. It was taken before the chief magistrate of Glasgow, who, after hearing the tale,
That's 100% real.
aye, putting this together with the longest missing persons list ever, and the many reports of mysterious pickled body parts washing up on the beach, right?
Oh my God.
Decided to take the matter straight to the top. King James promptly arrived in Ayrshire with a small army of 400 men and tracker dogs, and together with a band of locals launched one of the biggest manhunts the country had ever seen to find these cunts, right? So the search extended through Ayrshire, the full countryside, the coastline, but nothing was discovered. That was, however, until dogs picked up the scent of decaying human flesh while passing by a partly waterlogged cave, right? The entire Sonny Bean family, all 48, sorry, it was 48, no 58, as if it's any less mad, right? Were arrested, marched to Edinburgh by the king himself. Crimes were considered so heinous that the justice system for which Scotland is so renowned was abandoned. The entire family sentenced to death. They all got like ripped apart and left to bleed out, just like they did with people.
Oh my God.
And that
Jesus.
On your doorstep, bro, and you don't know about it.
Oh my God. Sonny Bean. You're sick, bro.
Sonny Bean bad, bro.
Sonny Bean, if you're listening somewhere in the depths of hell, brother, fuck you and your fucking bean eating family.
No, the beans don't eat each other, bro.
Do they know? The
Nah.
beans stick together, mate.
Aye, they're all incestual.
Only if you don't
like,
cook them right, but
only when they're out of date.
aye, man. Tins, mate. You'd be doing quite badly to get a date tin of beans, wouldn't you? The beans no last quite. Man, tins of shit's meant to last, man.
Forever.
If I don't trust anybody that's got a date tin of beans in there, like you've got to use your beans up, man.
What about like shit that goes out of date pure quick, like no in a tin, like fish or something? Like does tuna go out of date fast in a tin? Or if tins get a mad power?
I think the tin holds the power.
Aye.
And I think if I was there's reports obviously about Jeff Bezos.
What about him?
You got put that in.
He wants preserved in a massive tin, bro.
Aye.
It's like Walt Disney.
Aye, but just the
like Walt Disney obviously preserved himself in ice.
cryogenically frozen.
Aye, and now Jeff Bezos is trying to get himself tinned.
Aye, just put in the cupboard, not in the fridge.
Yeah, you don't put the no. Do they last long on the fridge? I don't think so.
I don't know. I think I would
tin out the fridge. I'd say.
Aye, it would take away for the power of the tin, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. The tin only holds power outside the fridge.
It's the cupboard.
My granda used to always say that to me. You know that
Aye.
before he passed. He was about.
He used to say it every time he passed.
No, just before he passed actually, in RFP. But he did say to me, he said, and I said, what? And he said, the tins only hold power outside the fridge. And I was like, what, mate? But no, it came full circle, man.
Aye.
Another thing I wanted to talk about, Joseph, can you pull up? Yeah. So basically, mate, have you seen this, haven't you, as well?
Aye.
It's madness, people. So basically now, is it in Switzerland? Is it at Switzerland, isn't it?
I think so.
I feel like it's Switzerland.
Austria, one of the places in it.
Aye, one of the lands of Europe. And they have like a thing now where you can like, you had enough, you can just go and kind of do it peacefully. So the controversial unalive pod that kills peacefully gets go ahead in Switzerland. So they've got a wee picture here, and obviously it's up behind it at the moment, and you can kind of see that people are sitting about having a wee watch. Actually, I think the family are there. I think they're treating it like a loved one passing away in the hospital. But let's zoom in on this man, because this man actually looks like he's listening to a jazz band at Queen's Park Bandstand right now.
Mate, he's got a pint.
He's got a beer in his hand, bro. He's got a beer in his hand and a smile on his face, mate.
That is mad. He's got a tote bag full of oil.
What is in that tote bag? Hand sanitizer on that.
Swag for the.
Hand sanitizer for the deed, cunt. What is going on there?
He's got a trilby on.
I feel like the bag, he's just like, that was the person's belongings, and now he's got it, and he's like, good, I fucking hated you anyway, man.
He's buzzing about it.
Who brings a beer to an unalive pod? Who brings a beer? Imagine the awkwardness in the room, and like everybody's like, oh, I can't believe you're going through it. And then he's like that.
Yeah!
Aye.
Salon.
10, what one?
Aye, that's what I was imagining. Like on the way there, he's like, "Did you get a carry out or something?" And the kid's like, "Did I get a carry out?" Like, do you know where we're going?
Boat opener. She's doing it. Boat opener. Aye, man, but look at this guy. I thought that was exceptional, because this is obviously not an actual real one of these happening. This is like a picture they've set up. Maybe this is to like ease. Why do they want people to go and do it? Actually, I feel like they're trying to advertise the use of it here.
What do you think about that?
But like being able to do that.
Aye.
I think it's. I mean, it is controversial, as the New York Post has said, but I kind of feel like, I don't know, man. It's a weird one, because I do feel like you should have the choice if you just think, because like, say for example,
you shouldn't be criminalised for it.
Aye, no, you shouldn't be criminalised for it, but at the same time, like, there's people who are going through an extremely hard time with their mental health that feel like doing that and end up doing it, right? Which is dreadful because, you know, the theory is just keep fighting it and see the people that they battle extreme mental health issues and come out the other side and they're like unarrived attempts and like things like that, and then they've survived it, and then they're so happy about it, they can tell the tale, they're so glad they never done it and stuff like that. You get people like that, right? But then you get people who like are going through that much like physical pain for like these illnesses, and like even, I don't know, man, it is a difficult one. I mean, as I'm talking about it, I'm kind of weighing it up in my head. It's like, I feel like everybody should have the choice of what happens to them, but at the same time, like, it's no, I don't know, I wouldn't ever just sit and, none of my pals could ever convince me like, oh, I'm going to go and do this, and I'd be like, well, if you want, you know what I mean? It's just never going to happen. So I don't know when it would be right. And when would it be right?
Well, theoretically, just say somebody is literally in the worst pain you could ever imagine, like from anything, just like they're in that much pain. Would you let that person do it? Know what I mean? Would you be like, right, I get it, you can do it? And if you do that, you can't just like, because people aren't in the right headspace all the time, so it could like obviously know if they're considering that, so like it could be like just a mad spur of the moment, like it's open to abuse, know what I mean? It's open to pure abuse.
How do you run that, and like, I mean, how do you consciously say right, because I mean, I'd bet nine I don't know percentages, but like a lot of people that do it, I would bet at the last second think, I don't want to do this, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know how could you morally run that and be like, I come ahead, fuck, when you booked in for 6 till 7, 6 till 6 till nay time, man.
6 till
They'll probably do like a mental analysis on, you know, that, and like,
but is there any mental state you're in that should be
but I think see if you're like, oh, this, and you gave your reasons, they'd be like, alright, here's your options, like we'll help you with this. It's probably like a medical thing, that I mean.
There should be that this shouldn't be a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Shouldn't be a thing you could just walk up to and be like, alright, me mate.
No, even that, like on another, like a kind of wider scale, like there should be things in place that help people, like better things in place that help people get out of the way that they feel what they want to do this, then but just going, right, if you want to do that, then there you go, mate, there's a pod for it. It does it peacefully, bro.
I know. It's a very, very sort of, you know, and as much as like you can say to me, if I mention that to you, be like, you're my pal, I'm no fucking letting you do it. But see, it's a weird one, because like, how should you have control of you being able to go somewhere and being like, right, I've had enough, these people don't live in my body, I've had enough, I don't care what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? It's a very, very strange thing, but I just don't get, as you are saying, it's probably a medical thing in it. It's probably no for like people who just want to go ahead with it. Know what I mean? It's probably to do with people who suffer like horrific injuries, and it would be better for them if. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, man.
Like if you're in a state that you're asleep, like.
And the family are just like here.
There's no, but it's such a difficult thing.
I don't think it is that, because like,
I don't,
see if that was, you'd get the lethal injection or something. But that's a pod that you walk into. With a beer in your hand and all that. That's the whole thing.
Try and search it and see if you can find more on it.
I don't know if this is the same as like if you're not well, and you get like a lethal injection. I don't know if this is the same thing, but see the ones for like when people get executed in America. Some of them like kill so slowly, the lethal injections, that like they need to like they're in pure pain, and then they need to like come back the next day and get it done again. Like they're no like peaceful, and they're no as like what do you call that? Humanic, I was about to say, like, you know what I mean? Humanitarian, like pure. They're no as nice to hang with. Is that? So
it's something that should be an instant thing, and it's actually no.
It drags out, and it's horrible, and it's the worst pain ever for like a full day and all that. That's like a full another argument. That fucking like justice system, they're there like.
Next deep fried on the justice system.
It gets weirder. The guy says that they're going to give the blueprint so that anybody can make one themselves and 3D print it.
Right, I'll read it out for the audio listeners, right? So, if the machine gets the go-ahead for use in Switzerland, the pod will not be offered for sale in the conventional way. Instead, the capsule's creator, Dr. Philip Nischke, That's a good attempt at that. Said he planned to make the blueprints available so anyone could download the design. This will be available for free. His aim is to demedicalise the dyeing process. He said in an interview published on the Exit International website, a voluntary assisted dyeing charity. What?
What is that?
A voluntary assisted dying charity, mate. There's 4 words that have never been said together. Which he founded. Sorry, we want to remove any kind of psychiatric review from the process and allow the individual to control the methods themselves. So like they
were saying that.
So they don't get checked. You can. He has long campaigned for the right to die, earning him the nickname Dr. Death. Currently, there are 2 prototypes in the sarcopod, with a third being printed in the Netherlands. Dr. Nusk has previously faced criticism for the pod, some saying that its futuristic design will glamorise unalive.
That's not the reason that I would be criticising it. Just because it's like,
mate,
it's
but
futuristic.
I think what they're saying is like, if you make it sort of like look at this lovely wee pod and you can come and it's peaceful, it's like it might make more people accept it and do it.
Aye, but what do you want it to be like then? If you're
horrible,
like a mad like shit.
I want it sort of not to exist, I think, to be honest.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't criticise the design, criticise the thing.
True,
know what I mean?
True, man. True.
Just ridiculous, man.
What about the fucking guy, man? The guy in Wales. Pull up the article. This young man, he fucking on his way to a new job in the train, drank 20 cans of lager. And offered a fight to a security guard. Now, when you think about this, you probably picture somebody that looks like Raoul Moat or something.
Aye.
It's like when you seen Raoul Moat, you thought, right, he's off his nut clearly.
Aye. Or
when
me,
you see,
or me or something.
Aye, or like Jamie Keeley. But when you see this. Aye, so look here, man. So look at this guy, man, and he looks like he got the picture taken after he drank the 20 cans of lager here.
Aye.
Or maybe he's got bad vision, man. And shout out to other people with bad vision out there. I'm one of yous. But aye, man, train passenger on the way to new job drinks 20. Now, there's a thing, right? See, if I drink, I'll be honest, I was on the train to Edinburgh, and I'll be honest, I had like 3 cans of beer.
Nice.
And I was not drunk, but I could feel a wee you know what I mean? A wee glow, a wee haze coming over me. This man drank 20. Now,
also the time on the train.
Aye, like so he's on his way here. Right, so this is even fuck part. On the way to a new job, mate. If there's one thing I'm not doing on the way to my new job, it's tanning a can of lager, mate.
It's because you're not a legend like this.
That's true. McLovin, bro.
But challenging the security guard. So I'm thinking, did they get off the train? And he's steaming, he's just what about and all that, and then he goes to the new job and he looks that fucked that the security guard, like outside, no, you get that sometimes outside office buildings or something.
Maybe he's I suppose, because where's that security? Maybe on the train or coming off the train or something, maybe. I don't know, man.
I've just realised maybe he was going for a new job as a barman.
and he's like, I better show knowledge, I've drank every beer that I know. And he bought one of them at 20 like pack sort of gift beer things, and he got one for his birthday and he's tanned a lot.
Aye, because he obviously wanted to be able to give advice to the person.
He's like, look, I drank this one, it tastes lovely, this one, get rid of it. You know what I mean? And he's fucked it for himself, man.
He didn't realise that cans of lager got you drunk, I don't think he knew what they were.
To give him the benefit of the doubt, it could be some mad guy that's like pure scared to go for a job interview, and he's been like, I'll have a couple of cans.
How do you get?
And it's like, another one, and it just gets worse and worse.
Surely after, I think if that was me, and I mean, if I decided to go with that method, if I ever would, I think after, honestly, 4, I would be like, I've got to fucking stop this.
4's too much.
I think I could get away with 4. Sometimes I'm a bit of a smooth talker before beers.
4, maybe 4's the line then, but see, after that,
even
you're slurring your words, you're fucking... No.
So how do you get past 15, say, and I need 5 more of these?
But the thing I think's mad is that how long's the train? You said like going to Edinburgh, right? So it's that 50-minute train.
Aye, about that.
So you drink a can every 15 minutes or something. Know what I mean?
I know. Where's he come for a job in fucking China or something?
20 cans. You'd have to tan and off on the fight. I love shit like that, man. The leather.
Not only I mean, what else you doing after 20 cans? You're no fucking going to your new job anyway, man.
I don't know why they're calling him a train passenger, because he's going a bit, man. He's in the job interview and all that. He's got a whole hang. That mean, like he's probably been here, being mad with everywhere, man, in the office and all that.
I hate when when articles say like a passerby, you know that, like they use that mad
What,
language.
you mean
thing.
a grass mate? That's what we call them, fuck's sake. A snitch, bro.
Aye, but it's like the when if you're ever in a news article or something, it's like the car driver or something, like the driver of the vehicle, and it's like, mate, I've got feelings, like I'm not just a driver of a vehicle.
I've got a name, mate.
You know, heard my poems.
Sonny Bean, mate.
Put some respect on it.
Put some respect in the name of Sonny Bean, man. And I think that's a fucking fantastic way to wrap it up, baby. Deep fried. Joseph face reveal. Say something to the people. Ah! Oh Lord, the time has come. The giveaway winner is about to be announced. So thanks for all the entries, guys. Over to Joseph, who's going to draw the winner.
Oh,
I'm going to draw the winner.
He's going to draw the winner. Who is it? Could be you.
as you.
Jack van der Ster.
Oh, Jack van der Sar. Is that how you say it? Van der Sar?
Van der Sar.
Edwin van der Sar's boys won it, man. Jack van der Sar. Is that right?
Van der Ster. Aye.
Van der Sar. Jack, you've won it, mate. Congratulations. Get in touch with us. In fact, we'll message you. We'll message you after the video's out. We'll get in touch with you. We'll get your details. You have won a year of Investor Watch UK. Woo. You have won 5 free haircuts to the best barbers in Glasgow, Myles Co. Woo. You have won a Collection 26 hoodie of your choosing. And also, just to top Christmas off, Jack, we're sending you £50 cash as well, man. Outrageous stuff. Congratulations. Cheers for entering, troops. So you had it, there you had it, man. The Joe face reveal. We're bringing you Atlantis. We're bringing you cannibalism. We're bringing everything, man. And paranormal stuff, as that comment said. So, guys, get in the comments. Tell us what you want to see next. Tell us what you want us to investigate. And we'll do our best. As always, from Reilly's Gaff, we love you.
We do.
And thank you so much for all the support over this year. We came in hard. We came in harder than, mate, I'll be honest, I used to do double French on a Monday morning, mate.
Did you?
And I'll be honest, I was erect in that class most of the time, mate.
Aye, constantly aroused.
No, even aroused, it was merry. Do you ever used to get a tired hard on?
No, I got a comfy hard on.
Aye, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. And shout out to the guys with comfy hard ons out there.
Right now, whoever's got a comfy hard on right now, send a picture.
Cheers, troops. We're coming in next year. We're coming in hot. We've got some big things planned. Stick around. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next year.
Cheers, troops.